Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Case, and I'm chilling right here on You Know I Got Soul. I know you got soul, so keep it locked right here.
Okay, so the new album, Heaven's Door, coming out later this month.
Yeah.
Give us an introduction to it, what we can expect on there.
The new album is called Heaven's Door. It'll be out on the 31st of March. The pre-orders are available right now, actually. For Heaven's Door, what I wanted to do was a straight R&B album. I wanted to put the love back into the music because a lot of that is missing to me. I wanted to talk about real relationship issues in the music because I think that's missing also. So I wanted to do a straight-up R&B album and kind of, quote-unquote, do real music. You know what I mean? I wanted, like, it's real melodic, nice harmonies, and just dealing with a lot of substance. And that's what I really wanted to do with this album.
How do you kind of put into play, the ability to keep that integrity with your music, throughout the years, and create that real music? Is it, that relationship with your producers? Is it, the substance in the writing? Like, how do you kind of get that ball rolling?
I think the best way to keep that integrity is just to know who you are and to make sure that that's what you're going to make. Like, I'm never going to compromise what I do for the sake of making $1 or for the sake of fitting in. You know what I mean? So, I may update my sound, I may have progression in my sound, but it's always going to have a certain quality to it that I take pride in.
I remember you did this great interview with us about a year ago out in Vancouver when we were covering your show, and you had mentioned you had lost interest at some point in making new music, and you were kind of just interested in doing shows and stuff like that. So how did you get the motivation back to continue and create new music again?
Well, what happened was two things happened. My grandmother passed away, and she was, from the time I was a little kid, like I have pictures doing concerts in her living room for company with a microphone and with glasses, and she would always encourage us to sing and make sure that we were singing right and make sure we were singing with feeling. So she passed away, and it took me back to that time. And then not long after that, Michael Jackson passed, who was my first artist that I really idolized and really made me want to do this. And so the combination of those two things, it made me go back to the beginning of when I started with the whole music thing, and it kind of reignited the spark. It's
been, I believe, nearly 5 years since your last one. So
6.
6. Do you look at this as some sort of introduction of sorts to the fans or anything like that, or it's just?
No, I don't look at it as an introduction. I just look at it as a continuation. Right. Because it's going to be an introduction to a certain amount of fans, but in general, it's just me continuing and picking up where I left off and just progressing. That's how I look at it.
The single "Shook Up" has some of the similar elements that you've had in previous records. What was something that you were looking to set out with, starting with "Shook Up" as the?
I think when I made "Shook Up," what I was really looking to do was to make a straight up R&B old-fashioned love song, because there's not too many of those around. Especially right now. I wanted to make an old-fashioned R&B love song where I'm talking about my feelings, and it's melodic, and it makes you feel good, and that's what I wanted to do.
Talk about the industry where it's at now and how you kind of fit into this new landscape. I mean, things have changed so much since you first came out, and not only that, since your last album. You know, how do you navigate in this new landscape and try to be successful?
Well, for me, I don't ever look at that, like how to navigate it. I just do what's in my heart, and I do it the best way that I can. And I think that, as always with any artist, I think that the music will speak for itself, and I think that good music will always win out. And so for that, I kind of don't go into it looking into how I'm going to navigate and how I'm going to be successful. I made the music. I made it from my heart. It came from a real place, and I think that will speak for itself.
Talk about some of the production that you have coming up on Heaven's Door.
On Heaven's Door, I did 3 songs with Isaac Hayes III, Ike Dirty. I did 2 songs with Guitar Boy, who did a lot of stuff with Trey Songz, and some other people. I did a song with Amadeus, who I've known forever. One of my good friends that I've known since he was about 12, 13, T.L. Cross, did a song for me. So what I really wanted to do with this album, production-wise, was work with people who understood where I am and who I am as an artist. They understand that I'm trying to do real music. I want to have melody, and I don't want to compromise that for anything. So as long as they understood that, then we could do it.
Any collaborations we could expect?
No, not on this album. I have one that we may do, but it'll be a remix because it didn't make the album. But there's one that I may have, and there'll be some other stuff coming up in the future.
Right. Just to take it back a little bit, I was reading you got your start writing and singing backgrounds for some other artists. Where did you originally get your start in the industry? How did it happen for you?
Man, originally in the industry, well, Albie Shaw was the first person to ever put me in the studio. I would reference vocals for him, which is basically I would come up with the melodies for the songs. Then I did backgrounds for a couple of artists. I wrote a song for Usher on his first album. I wrote a song on Christopher Williams' album Changes, and that was kind of my start. Just getting in the studio and just learning and learning about how to write songs and how to structure songs and all of that type of thing, and learning how to work in the studio. And that was the start. And then Faith wrote a song on my demo called Don't Be Afraid, and Russell Simmons heard it, and he signed me based off of that song.
You spent many years on Def Jam, Def Soul.
Yeah.
After you left the label, you had such a good thing going, but after you left, where did it take you? What were you looking to do after that?
When I left Def Jam, really, I didn't have a plan. It was just to go and see what was next, you know what I mean? And once I left, I started working on the next album, which was The Rose Experience, and I ended up doing it independent, and I wanted to see, I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. And but what I did want to get away from was the whole politics of the game, because I felt like it was smothering me creatively. You know what I mean? I felt like it was taking away my love for the music, which I never thought in a million years would happen.
Your voice is very distinct in R&B. Anytime anyone hears a record, they pretty much know it's you. The collaborations you have fit really well, with Joe, Tyrese, RL. Was there anybody in particular that come to mind that you would kind of want to work with as far as duets or anything like that?
Actually, I have a duet that I'm going to do, but I can't tell you about that now. That's real. We're going to keep that under wraps for now, but it's going to be real big. It's going to be real big. We were actually trying to do it for this album, but we're going to wait. So, but trust me, y'all going to love it. Yeah. Y'all going to love it.
Looking back at your albums, I always like to ask this question to give you a chance to reflect. Any songs that you felt like could have been a single if it had been picked, like a great album track, anything that stood out to you over the years?
Oh, yeah. On Open Letter, Conversate was supposed to be the next single. Right. Conversate was supposed to be a single. Let me think. On Personal Conversation, I'm trying to remember what was on Personal Conversation. After Happily Ever After, we wanted to put out, I think, Caught You was supposed to be another single. So, I mean, but you always look back at albums and think of stuff like that. It may have worked, it may not have worked, but as an artist, you want all of them to be singles.
Right.
As an artist, you want everything you do to be Thriller. Right. And it's just not going to happen like that.
And then just last question, what is your favorite part about being an artist? Because we've talked about some of the frustrations you've had with politics, with having to record new music, but what do you enjoy the most?
I think what I enjoy the most is being in the studio, which is kind of tied with being on stage, because when you're on stage and you perform, like you instantly know if you suck or if you're good. When you're in the studio, you don't know, because there's people there that are involved with it, so they're going to like it most of the time. But when you get on stage, it's like you get that instant, like if you suck, you're going to know right then and there that this is what I'm doing is wrong, which is kind of cool for me, you know what I mean? But I do like the process of coming up with new songs and trying to create something out of nothing. I do really, really enjoy that part of it.
So that's all we had. Anything you'd like to add?
Nah, just, the album is available for pre-order now. It'll be out March 31st, the whole album, Heaven's Door. And I just want to thank everybody, as always, for all of their support and for all the kind words that I've gotten over the years. And I hope that you really enjoy this album and see the same vision that I saw when I started making it.